What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Stream On Streaming On podcast for the
Welcome.
month of, we didn't
March and April.
we didn't do one for
because-
March.
Yeah.
We talked about it in the podcast before the last episode that we might not be able to do one for March because of just the schedule. But yeah, so
I was also in the U.S., so
yeah. So
we physically couldn't either.
So we can talk about March and April, I guess. It's been a bit. It's hard to, I would have to say it's kind of hard to kind of get back into the rhythm after a while. After having such a weird 2 weeks. I streamed for 2 weeks by myself. It feels like ages ago now, but I streamed by myself, which is a first experience ever. And then we got banned during,
Yeah.
and we, not during that time.
It was after that time.
Yeah, not during that time, but I did get banned. I got the channel banned, and then so we streamed on YouTube, so we can talk a little bit about that, what that was like, and what else?
I mean, I guess I could talk about my trip too. So
Yeah,
there's
I mean-
a lot of things we could talk about.
Yeah, so it's gonna be kind of like a roundup of the last 2 months. It's always nice to do that. Yeah. Well, where do we even start? I guess we should start with you going on that trip.
Yeah, so I went to my brother's wedding. So I went to the U.S. for 2 weeks. I went to California, and unfortunately, apparently I went at the worst time ever because it was like the worst season or like weather that California has experienced in the last like few years or something.
the
Like,
worst time to go.
Yeah, no, like trees were falling over. Like there was a storm every day. Like there were like weather, what was it, like precautionary like reports saying please be careful because there's things falling outside. We were supposed to meet up for a family dinner and the place was only about like 10 minutes away. It took us like, I think maybe an hour, a little over an hour, because instead of 10 minutes, because a tree had fallen over and we had to wait in like line for authorities to cut down the tree and take it away. So we were stuck in traffic for an hour, even though it was supposed to be like a 10-minute trip there. So
Sounds like a great time, honestly.
I mean, yeah. I mean, their wedding venue got canceled, so they had to find a new place. Which the day of the wedding was like weather was beautiful, so they got super lucky. I don't know why there was no storm on just on that day, but they were able to find a new venue and everything, so it worked out okay.
Yeah, I remember
But-
that was like a big problem going into it because you guys were saying that, last minute changes were happening. And
Yeah.
I was like, are they gonna like make it out? Like, is it gonna actually happen? And it's always like, problems are always surrounding weddings. It seems like it's almost like I've never really heard of a smooth wedding. Like, does that even exist?
Yeah.
It's-
I mean, luckily this time their wedding was fairly small, so they didn't have too many they didn't have to deal with like too many like angry guests or anything like that. It's not like no one canceled because they couldn't make it out or anything like that either.
Hopefully, no family drama at the wedding. Everyone's
No,
getting along.
Everyone was getting along, so
So you were
they're
gone
not
for.
good.
Then you went back to your hometown for a
Yeah.
bit. So that was
I went
like
back to my parents' place. It was snowing there. Yeah, it was cold. I was not expecting it because here it was not cold. It was like what? Maybe like, I mean, still it was a little chilly, like 10, 15 degrees. I went over there and it's like -5. Like, oh God. So I had to borrow my mom's what's it called? Like a down jacket. And it's like goes all the way down to my knees.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a marshmallow. It was great.
So you're spending
But-
time at home.
Yeah.
We did some video chats of that, and then during that time over here, I was just it was I guess another big thing is that I quit my job during that time, and that was kind of the biggest reason why I couldn't go to the wedding because timing wise, it just was the busiest it's ever been in 10 years because I quit a job of 10 years and I just wanted everything to go smoothly. And I was telling Blue, so we have a big project that's coming up at the end of March, right at the wedding time. And, the thing hasn't happened yet, but I know there's going to be a problem. And if I'm not here to solve it, it's going to be bonkers. So, I was just trying to be like, just making sure everything went smoothly. And yeah, the worst of the worst problems kept just happening over and over and over again. So, it was pretty rough, honestly. But I was trying to stream during that time too, but now and I quit my job safely in the sense that everything went okay. But yeah, I was trying to do some I didn't have the mind, like I didn't have the luxury of just mentally just have space to think of like super creative ideas or anything like that. But I just let it kind of like the normal stuff to me. Apparently people thought that I was going insane, which I guess I kind of was, but
You
um
were.
I was doing some really weird streams where it was like, what was I? I did some like
You went
I did
outside and they
cooking.
said you looked really depressed.
I did a stream where I was streaming like for like a 20-minute stream of me just streaming on the bed, being like, "Sup." I think I was testing out like a app, like the Twitch streaming app and stuff like that. Um, I played the Forest a little bit, and it was really weird to stream without Blue, and just it felt really weird. Because I do imp streams all the time. Imp streams are impromptu streams that I do that are off schedule, and that's just usually me hanging out, drinking, and stuff like that. I do those, but I realize like when I'm on a scheduled stream, I definitely get in a different mindset. It's like oh, I have to actually like be responsible, I guess, a little bit. But I wasn't. I realized that when you put that kind of responsibility and stream, it ends up with the weirdest thing ever. Somebody made like, because we have an intro or we have a raid video that um kind of explains who we are in like 30 seconds. Someone made one, like a
Just
parody
for
of that,
you.
just with the crazy shit that was happening.
Yeah.
And for like, it was only like a couple days too, but it was like, I saw that and I was like, whoa, this is a weird, this is a weird timeline. Like, I'm really glad this isn't what Blluist is about
So
normally.
it's good to know that if I wasn't here, you would get nowhere.
Mm, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't get anywhere.
I mean, without you, I would get banned. I mean, I quit my job. I was like, I'm getting ready. Let's go. And then, trying to put everything into full motion. And then
You
I
streamed
streamed Coachella
watching, yeah. You streamed Coachella
and then got
and you got
suspended
banned.
for
You got
2 days.
banned for 2 days.
So,
That was interesting.
great start, honestly, to a new chapter of Blluist is, you know,
I mean, we tried out YouTube, so that was fun.
yeah,
Not much different, honestly. It didn't, of course, since like our screen isn't different, so
there
it's not
was
much
one
different. It's
thing
just
that,
like emotes were what was different. Like people were actually talking in sentences instead of using emotes, so that was different. That was probably the biggest thing.
for me, was chat delay was the biggest thing.
Mm.
That was a little bit uncomfortable in the sense that, so you have three options that you can pick from, and it's like you can do normal delay, you can do not much delay, and you can do all,
Super delay.
super no delay. But if you use super no delay, by the way, that's not the name of it. There's actually, I just can't remember the latency thing, but like,
It was like no lag, few second lag, and then there was like a minute lag or whatever.
but
It's like it just calls it different lags.
yeah.
Lag time.
So I'm so used to Twitch where, there is a little bit of a lag, but it's just something I guess I'm used to, that time. We did the first day, we did no lag. And then our stream
Quality
quality
was
was just so bad.
Garbage.
We were streaming we didn't change the bit rate that we were streaming at or anything like that, but it was
It
obviously
was just
we
so
weren't.
bad. It looked terrible.
Yeah, so but we weren't getting delay. And then the next day we did low latency. And we only streamed for 2 days, and I could definitely see and feel a big lag between what people were saying and
Mhm.
when we were reacting to it. And
Yeah.
so it was that's the one thing that kind of like, for me, besides the whole like emote culture and stuff like that, from a streamer point of view, that lag was definitely something that was,
Noticeable.
yeah, it was a little weird for me. And we were really thankful because maybe it was because we were just doing it as a one-off thing, but I would say a lot more people than usual that I've seen, when someone's like, I'm on Twitch and also YouTube, you lose a good amount of viewers for that stream, people just don't switch over, which makes sense. because everyone's on a different account. It's something that they're not used to. Blah blah blah. But we had a good amount of people, I think.
A lot of people were nice enough to even like change their username
Yeah.
to the one on Twitch, so we could tell who's who.
So we were
So that
able to
was
get
very
like
nice.
I think we were having a good time, and also we were able to get a good actual test of like what it was like to stream on YouTube.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was the one thing that was really, bugging me was the latency of
Yeah.
what it was so apparent, and that was low. So on normal, there's even more. And then if you want to stream in like 4K, it's a lot
It's a
of
huge
yeah.
lag.
So it's not even live streaming, or it probably wouldn't even feel like a live stream. So that was one thing that I noticed. So we did that. It was fun. It was also like it was an eye-opening thing for me because we never even thought about streaming on YouTube before. And this gave us the opportunity. I'm not trying to make light of the fact that we got banned, but it gave us the opportunity to, we were trying to do something interesting, but instead of that, we said, why don't we just try a different platform while we can? It's allowed, it's not against the rules or anything. So we did it, and we got to see and experience something. And if something goes wrong with Twitch, that's definitely an option
Or
for
if you get
us.
us banned again.
Two more times, and then we're fucking gonzo. But
So yes, thank you, Gray, for the beautiful opportunity. Thank you so much
mhm.
for getting us banned. So we have this amazing opportunity to finally try out YouTube. It's all thanks to you. Like
Yes.
we couldn't have asked for anything more.
Of course,
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah.
So, of course, I was. There were options, just do Discord, but I
Mhm.
was like, you know what? It just feels Discord streaming is just not the same. So I just wanted to do. I think YouTube was a good idea, and I think people enjoyed it. I think it was a good time. And the archive's still up if anyone's interested.
is up, yeah.
Yeah, on our live. It's a weird experience. I was
It was surreal.
nothing changes, right? We're sitting in the same seats. It's through OBS, it's everything, but when it just looks different, and it just feels like you're on
It's
a
a little different.
feels like you're on a field trip almost.
That's a really light and airy way of putting it. But
Mm.
yeah.
And we didn't monetize the streams for the 2 days, so we don't really know what the of course everyone's like, wow, YouTube's better, it has no ads. It's because we're like, we turned it all off because so we don't know what the ad experience will be like. I watch YouTube streams, and the ad experience isn't too bad. It's like two at most, but two ads at most, and one may be skippable kind of thing. But I don't know what that would be like. We don't know how the memberships, like the subs and stuff. Of course, we don't
Yeah.
have any of that on. It was just free for all, just test it out type thing. So I don't know. I can't say that it was. I fully experienced YouTube streaming, but also one thing that I realized was the categories that you have, because like on Twitch you just do just chatting, right? And then you do and if you play a game, you make your category a game.
Yeah.
There is no thing called just chatting on YouTube. So it's like, if you've ever posted a YouTube video, you would know this. It's the categories are the same: entertainment, people and blogs, video games, and all those ones that are just there for normal videos. But I'm like, I'm just here chilling. I didn't know what to make it. So I think we just kept it games because we were just gonna play.
We were actually going to play something.
Yeah, but I would be kind of confused.
Yeah.
With how to, just because people always talk about with live streaming, the discoverability of YouTube, of live YouTube streams are like, it's not really there. So I understand that, but I think that's another thing that makes it hard, is that as a streamer, I don't know if you're just doing just chatting, which I would think is a lot of YouTube content with like with like the vlog culture and all that stuff. I think there's a lot. So they, instead of having a big one, they kind of have these micro categories for each one, but which is good for people that know what they're doing, or like they have like a set thing. But I'm like, so I guess I'm a person, but I guess it's not a vlog, so maybe, or blog, so I guess
It's like, what are we?
I don't know. It's like
What category are we?
Yeah, that was one thing that I had a hard time if I wanted, because we do just chatting all the time. Like we start the stream with just chatting. So like, is it like, should we do just chatting, cut the stream, and then start a different stream for games, so it stays in the same category? Like I didn't know. I didn't know what to
Yeah, I
do.
don't know how that works.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that
well,
was
I
fun
mean,
though. I had a
yeah,
good time, and it was,
it was interesting.
and thankfully, we got the email that we were not suspended during the stream, when we were streaming on
So
YouTube. They
we
said,
came back. Okay.
yeah, and it was perfect time because we were part of the Twitch Spring Festival, which was like a lot of bits and subs go to XP points, and then at the end of the 10 days, you get to exchange those points for
Good.
some goods. So I almost got us banned at the worst time, but you know, just missed the mark in the best way possible. Just missed the mark. So yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I mean other than that, I on my way back I had some troubles with my trip. Like my ticket got voided and stuff. So my trip back was interesting, but I was glad to know that the channel wasn't gone or anything.
That was a
Gray
big
was
fear that you had.
Yeah,
You talked
Gray
about
was
it.
relatively sane.
You did talk
So
about that in the last podcast.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was
So what do you
worried
think?
that you wouldn't be able to stream. Like I wouldn't be able to stream during my trip, and then it would just be like a desert with no one there. So it didn't happen. That didn't happen. I mean, so that was good.
Thankfully,
Yeah,
everyone was
I
still
came
there.
back and it was the same. Thank God.
Yeah,
So
it was just the same old Bluist, except a little bit more people were worried about me
yeah,
and my mental health.
you were going a little insane, but that's not anything new. So
So it's been about a month almost since I quit my job,
mm-hmm.
and now I do mostly freelance, but freelance and Twitch is, and all the solo streams that you used to do are just normal, both of us now.
Mm-hmm.
How is that for you? How's that? How, like, feeling wise, or now that you don't have solo streams anymore, does that change anything for you?
No, not really. I mean, like, because I stream the same days as I used to, so it doesn't feel that different. I guess, like, of course, like, it's you being there is different, but it's not like I'm streaming more than before or less than before, or anything like that. So nothing has really changed, like, schedule wise, I guess. But even like stream wise, I guess there's sometimes where it's like, I think like, oh, maybe I do want to play this game by myself kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we should like remake our schedule or if we should reconsider adding extra days for solo streams, or I haven't really decided on that yet, to be honest. I'm still kind of on the fence in regards to that because I don't know if it's like, is it necessary? Necessary as in like, do people even want like our solo streams, or are we better? Like we're better together, I think. But
I don't think you need to think about what people want. I think it's if you want to do it. I never think about.
well, yeah, but
I think
I'm not gonna do it.
imp streams are not, and that's what I'm saying is you don't need to schedule it. I think it's an opportunity for you to start doing imp streams. If there's, for example, a great example is what we're doing right now. Right now we're doing Pokemon Black. It's our first time playing, and we're playing with permadeath. And with just the lack of knowledge and experience of the game and the difficulty of the game, we're not doing a Nuzlocke or anything. There's been a couple resets, so it's gonna take a while for us to beat it, which is creating a lot more, for me, a lot more, like, I want to stream different games sometimes, so it makes me want to do imp streams to do in between, and now you can do that because you don't, in a way, doing a solo stream is almost an excuse not to do an imp stream. But I think this might sound weird, but I think scheduled streams are super important, but imp streams are kind of the secret spice to making a channel seem interesting. 'Cause we don't advertise it on Twitter. We advertise it on Discord, which is where most people get our notifications with our size. But it's kind of this, it still kind of has this kind of secret vibe of like, oh, these guys are around when, when I least expect it, And it's usually just me, but if it's you doing those, it's, I think it creates a whole nother like whole nother level of I gotta keep alert. When is Blue gonna stream? Whatnot. Like, and that's a rare opportunity. It doesn't have to be all the time, and those should never be scheduled. I think.
Yeah.
So you have.
I think for me, like
yeah.
my not issue, but for me, if it's not scheduled, it's hard for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna do an imp stream because I have so many side projects I'm working on right now. I think my mind just goes immediately to like, oh, I can work on this. I can work on this at this time. And because I already have a schedule for a stream. When we don't have a when we don't have a scheduled stream, my mind just immediately goes to, oh, I can work on my side stuff.
Well, I know some of the stuff you can't show, but I can already name a few that you could stream. Why don't you stream? Why don't you? Or is that just something you want to keep separate? I'm not saying you have to stream. I'm just saying, is that also like a possibility to share those side things with people, like the process of it?
I mean, I could, but I think it'll be really boring.
Yeah, it's gonna be boring,
So,
but
that's why I would rather just get it like done.
No, like I think when you say that it's gonna be boring, I don't know if you're comparing it to a game stream. Of course, it's gonna be less action, but
boring as in I'm not gonna be able to talk because I have to focus.
Yeah, and that's fine.
So,
and when I said right now, yeah, it's gonna be boring. I don't think I'm not saying that it's gonna be a bad stream. I think boring as in just there's not much action and not much talking, that's fine. Like I think that's doesn't always have to be like that, where it's always talking, especially if it's like some like art project that you're doing, then it requires a lot more concentration, I think. And you don't get, like in game streaming, you get energy by talking and seeing what people say, and it kind of becomes the fuel. But with art, it's all about just, it's a lot more internal. So I think it's completely fine. I think people would be okay just vibing to, you talking, just doing whatever, watching your art and also talking to you. So
yeah. I don't know. I'll have to. We'll see.
That's a no.
I don't know.
I don't think you have to. It's a
lot of pressure to stream my art stuff, so I don't know. I'm still a little hesitant about even doing any kind of art stream. So it's a huge step.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I think now that I'm back, I think we do get people asking like, "Are you gonna do solo streams and whatnot?" But it really it's a Blue and we are completely different people.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't do a solo stream if it was scheduled. I would do less. I wouldn't want to do, because it's imp, because it's just, oh, I want to do it. That's why I do them. If it was scheduled, I wouldn't want to do it. And we shouldn't do something that we don't want to do.
Right.
And so, but you're the opposite, where you need it to be scheduled to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that just there's two different types of people. So if there is no imp stream, that's fine. But I don't think you have to think about, and I don't mean this in like, don't listen to the people or whatever kind of way, but you should, if it's a solo imp stream, you should never think about, is this going to be fun? Is it for them? And, like, if it's fun for you, it's going to be fun for them. And and it might not be true all the time, but that's the healthy mentality that we should be at, especially if it's just a solo stream.
Yeah.
So find something that you like, and then if you want to share it with people, great. If not, just do it on your own. That's fine too. But
that's true.
I think that is a big dynamic that is added now to our stream. And like I should be a little bit more in panic mode, honestly, because I didn't have a job lined up or anything like that, and our stream is not doing financially well enough to support both of us. So we are back kind of to square one in the sense of like we're starting to slowly burn through our savings each month. Um, I do get some freelance gigs here and there, but it's
It's not enough.
oh, not enough.
So
Yeah. But it was more of like a mental decision I'm turning 32 this year, and it was like I wasn't making that much money, and I wasn't happy. I was just miserable. So, and it was 10 years. I gave my 20s to this company, and I'm like, I don't want to give another 10 years. So,
yeah.
I think it was a good time and it's a lot of people are very supportive, like mental health all the way. And, and I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. But at the same time, the reality of us being 32 and not being able to, you know, we earn a lot less than the average 32-year-old because
Yeah.
because we choose the creative way. And not only that, there are a lot of successful creatives, but the way that we run things is not really I don't know, we're just not, we're not good at it, B, we don't
I mean, we
feel.
still also just started out, so we're a
Yeah,
lot behind when it comes to our income compared to like our friends
yeah,
who's already have an established business, or they've been doing this for so long that their business has already grown.
yeah.
Ours is still in the baby stages. So
So maybe like a lot of people wouldn't agree with what I did. And but it was more like, I mean, our friends are always supportive, and of course the people that watch us and hang out are always very supportive. But there's always that big worry for me personally that is just, you know so what do I do now kind of thing. And it's, I don't know, I'm kind of taking a chance before stability. Usually the smart thing is to find stability and then jump ship, but
we
I
jump
didn't.
ship first.
I jumped ship first because I've been on the ship for 10 years and I was ready to go. So it had nothing to do with streaming. It wasn't like I'm gonna make it as a content creator. It wasn't like that actually. It was just like, even if I wasn't streaming, I would probably quit at this time. Either way, whatever was, it was just time. So it's a little scary to be very completely honest. It's not, it's not that we're gonna be really changing the way that we do things around here so we can get more, subscribers or stuff like that. It's just, well, hopefully we can do things that can level our channel up because we have more time, but it's always going to be in the vein of Blluist. We if there's one thing that is very important to us is keeping our channel the way, um I don't know, keeping the, I don't know, how would you say it? How would you say it? Like,
Keeping our core values the same.
man, our core values, what we think is cool, the same, I guess. What we believe is kind of in this right lane of Blluist. I think people, it's harder to, I can't like do something different now. I'm just such a solidified the way I think. It's not like we won't try new things. If you know Blluist, we do weird shit all the time, but it's always in the same lane kind of thing. And we'll always say yes to new opportunities. We'll all say yes to things that people might think is like, oh, that's selling out or whatever. But hopefully we can put a Blluist twist to it, and we see the potential in that, and that way we can keep doing what we do. Not that any opportunity like that
We're
has
not gonna
ever.
start farming for money or anything like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's, yeah, in a way that seems awkward, and there might be times, who knows, but because it's hard to please everybody, but at the same time, there is this reality that we have to start earning a little bit more, even on the not like maybe through subscribers, because that is a really hard game to play
Hmm.
um on Twitch. But
I mean, that's kind of why like I started side stuff or things on the side too to try to gain a little bit more income from somewhere else. And then Gray does his freelance stuff too. So hopefully everything there can kind of help overall.
yeah,
Like everything combined can help overall, but there's still, baby steps. So hopefully we can actually take it somewhere.
yeah, and I don't want to like do anything. One of the thing that I really really think is really important is if people do subscribe or people do drop money in our channel, I don't want it to be because they feel bad.
Yeah.
I want it to be because you simply really do support, and you know, like they're like I wouldn't be supporting musicians that are like, oh, they're nice people, and but I hate their music and hate everything that they do, but they're poor, so I'm gonna give them money and they need money. Like that to me, that's not really that's not a true that's not really supporting. It isn't. It is, but that's another conversation. But
That's
um,
like charity.
yeah, it's not like that. Yeah, it's not. That's not what we want.
Yeah,
So
we don't need charity.
yeah, and that's why we work really hard on what we do. And
Yeah.
it's not like we try to make sure that every stream and everything is something that people want to be like. Oh, I want to support these guys. I want to support this indie stream. You know, like and thankfully we are getting that. We are getting it. You know, we are getting that support, and we can't thank enough from like the first time we started streaming. So I think it's not like it's not enough or anything like that. That's not what we're saying. Is that if there is growth in that kind of space, we want to make sure that we are giving back because we want to, because we like doing it, because we are, you know, it's got to be like we got to meet halfway. I think,
Yeah.
Kana. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are wondering about, what it's like after not having a job and whatnot. So, how about for
I mean,
you, Blue?
we'll make it work.
How about for you? I've been talking this whole entire time about, you know, because I was the one that, didn't have the job or that quit the
I
job.
mean,
But
like I said, that's why I started like side jobs to hopefully try and help that. I think like especially since with with you quitting your job, we are kind of back to I'm back to the mentality of when I first quit my job. So probably like I'm trying to do little things that would help us save more. Like I'm like I like just reality of it all. Um, I guess I just yeah. I mean we don't. I just want to make sure because I mean me and my personality, I just want to save as much money as possible. So I mean I'll probably go to my haircuts less. I won't do my nails anymore. I probably won't buy things as much anymore. Like those kind of things. Like I think I just end up doing that just because that's just how I am. Like I'll start cutting things that's like, okay, this isn't really necessary, so I'm not gonna get this. Or like, I can go without this month. I'm not gonna get it, kind of thing. Um, so I already started doing those things before you even mentioned it, or before you even quit.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
um, yeah, I
yeah.
think it's slowly I'll start. I mean, that's something we both have to do,
Yeah,
right?
I'm doing it too.
That's just
Like,
not
yeah,
like it's not. I mean, then it helps that like now I don't. And one of the things I'm very proud of is I was able to quit ICOS, so I don't have that expense anymore that I have to I personally worry about.
that's
And
yeah,
then I also, I mean, I guess that's yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I'm not like hair and nails is probably what I use my money on most, but I don't have a perm anymore, so I don't have to pay for that anymore. I just have to pay for a haircut. So it's just like cheaper options of everything.
And by the way, we're
Basically.
not like. I just want to make it clear, we're not like like in poverty or anything
No,
like
no,
that.
no, no. It's just
You
I'm
make
just
it
saying.
sound like we have to
No,
cut off like everything, but like it's
no, that's what I'm saying.
we're
Because of
like
my
yeah,
personality, I'm someone like that. That just
we're
I get
fine.
into this mode where it's like, oh, I don't need this, so I'm gonna do this kind of thing. No, that's just I'm just saying that's my personality.
Yeah.
Of I get really like intensely frugal. Like before, when I used to live by myself, I survived on yogurt, even though I had money, but because I didn't have a savings, all I did was survive on yogurt. Like that's just who I am. I'm not, but I'm not. Of course, like Gray's not gonna let me do that. I'm not gonna like just survive on yogurt. Like we have enough money to eat. Like don't get me wrong. It's just I think me and my weird ass personality of being like really anal about things. I just yeah, I get into this mindset of like, oh, I don't need this. I don't need this. I'm gonna cut this. Cut. I have like all this like excess fat I could just cut off, like on meat, and I just get like the core.
Mhm.
I just keep the core kind of thing, which I think in the end, it's not a bad thing,
I think it's a good
but
thing. It's just
I just get really like
make sure you live
really
your life.
specific.
I don't want to come home and like you've like sold all your clothes and you're just like a potato sack. Like it's fine. Like
Yeah, we're fine. Like
I worked hard for 10 years. It's fine.
yeah, it's not like we're gonna have to start living on ramen or anything like that. Like it's not, of course, it's not that bad or anything, but it's just me and my personality. I just tend to get in that mindset where it's like I have to save
Yeah,
every
yeah.
little penny. It's like, oh, what, a penny on the ground? I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
It's scary though. It's definitely a scary. It's it's very scary, but it's if anything, Blue was the person that kind of got me in the right direction with mental health and how to actually seek out care and prioritize that over anything. Because at the end of the day, what's the point? We only
What's the point of spending that much time at a company where you're so unhappy and you don't get paid enough to justify any of it?
yeah.
Which it shouldn't justify any of it in the first place. But
And the freelance jobs that I get to do now, and like thankfully timing wise, I've been getting some freelance jobs right after I quit, and they're just really fun to do. So even if they don't pay as much as like my normal job, it's something that if I get more of it, it will, and I'll have a great time doing it. And because it's, I just like doing, I do like subtitling for content that I actually enjoy, so it's easy, and I can use my mind in a very positive way instead of like just throwing it into a translating app and seeing like matching it and stuff like that. So it's to me, it's a lot more up my alley, I guess. So um, it's kind of like what I learned in the 10 years, and I'm actually able to use it. So that's like I'm really really thankful for those opportunities, and hopefully and probably there will be more in the future. So and then with the thing about Blue's new endeavor, with where she was like, I'm trying to like do things. It started off with this awesome hobby where like a friend of ours is like almost professional level up at this kind of embroidery stuff, and she's an artist and very good friends with Blue, and she got into it, and she just really got into something that was really cool, and she's been hooked on it, and people were like, dude, you guys should start, you could actually like make start selling that kind of stuff. And so it's again, they're the synergy of that just works well because it's something that's outside of depending on subscribers, and it's something that everybody can win. Blue can have a good time. You can, and then people will be able to buy a one-off handcrafted thing made by Blue that is, even if it's in the same colorway, it's a little different. And the fact that she's not a professional at it, it kind of adds this nice little like edge to everything. I think it adds more value to that, than something that's through a machine or something like that. So um to me, it's just like, oh, that's really cool. You don't have to sell it if you don't want to. I don't want you to be like, I don't want you to think of it as like something that you have to do to keep us going. But Blue's like, no, I just want to do it. And it's just something fun. And if people seem interested in it, and we are very thankful for a very dedicated community that they're like, yeah, they're like, there's people that like collect stuff that of our merch. There's like collectors, and people want collectors stuff. And if this isn't what one-off like embroidery or a brooch or something like that, if that's not collector, I don't know what is.
I'm gonna
So
start doing gotchas with all my pins,
$10 gotcha, right?
and you
$10
get a random
gotcha,
pin.
only one person can get it.
Yeah.
So toxic. Of course not, but you know. But jokes aside, I think it's awesome, and it's not something that
You get a
you
pity
know it's
roll for
playing.
every 50 though.
It's the pity roll
Yeah.
is one that I made,
Yeah.
so that's you get, it's either you get one that I made, which is the piece, it's like an absolute just disaster of a piece, or you get an actual one that Blue made. That's the gotcha. I'm like the R, and then you're like the SSSR, and there's only R's or SSSRs. So get
Yeah.
ready for that. The bluest toxic gotcha. I think I'm ready for that. We're gonna do a Blluist battle pass also. So get ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of been our last 2 months. Besides that, with the games, we've just been playing, Pokemon Black.
Pokemon, really.
Such a fucking fun game. I'm loving this whole permadeath thing. It adds so much weight to everything. The only bad part is if we die, we can't see the rest of the game, even though we want
So we have
to.
to start from scratch, and yeah.
But the weight of each, I don't know.
Life.
Yeah, it's not as hard as Nuzlocke, but it is.
It's still pretty tough.
It's pretty difficult for us. And
I just wasn't expecting Pokemon Black and White to be that difficult of a series, but apparently it's like just a difficult series in general.
They're smart. The AI is smart.
The AI is actually smart.
Yeah. So that's what we've just been playing. We do have some stuff planned for the future, but that is for another podcast that we can talk about when things get announced and all that, yada yada. So for now,
yada yada.
yada yada. So let's go to the questions that people have. So here on the Stream On Streaming On podcast, the So podcast, we have questions that we get from subscribers on the Discord. So we're going to get a question and we're going to answer it the best as we can. We try not to screen it unless it's really like we'll read it right now.
But really yabbers?
This is the first time that we go through these. So all right, so where do we start? April.
First one's from Vaughn.
For on the 18th.
Yeah. How do taxes work with streaming income? You tax it as a freelance job.
Mm-hmm.
So in Japan, what you do is if you start a freelance job or a company or whatever, you go to the tax office, fill out a paper saying, "Hey, I started a company." Not really company. That's a whole different paper.
Side
just
business.
like you basically apply, like say, "Hey, I'm a freelance worker now," and you apply it. You send it to the tax company or tax office, and then during tax year, because Japan has a self taxation system, or it's self, what was it called? I forgot what it was, but self declaration system. Sorry, yeah, self declaration system, where you are responsible of calculating everything and then turning it into the tax office. Then of course they review it because they have all your data, like whether you spend, of course, like your credit card information and everything you've spent throughout the whole year. So they'll basically compare with how much money is getting put into your account versus like getting out of your account. And they basically double check, make sure you filed it correctly, or the money, like the amount you sent in looks correct. And then after that, they'll send you a letter saying, "Hey, you did a great job. You're good to go." Or they say, "No, refile it. You owe us more money," or "We owe you money," or whatever. So
big problem over here. It trends during tax season that a lot of YouTubers, they don't, they just don't tax.
They don't fill out their taxes.
They don't fill out their taxes. It's a big problem. And the tax office is always very happy that they're like, "Oh, you're actually responsible. Nice."
Yeah. So if you, of course, like, and then when you're a freelance worker, there's like a certain amount you have to make before you start taxing, or you start having to file taxes. So if you don't make much, you don't have to. And then, you just kind of like you file it and then you pay the amount that you calculated and then you turn it in, and then hopefully it gets accepted. Because if not, then you just have to redo it. Maybe you owe more money, you owe less. Kind of depends on, Usually when you're a freelancer, I don't think, unless you really fucked up on calculating, or like you just put in like random numbers, like
Random
yeah, you're
numbers.
like committing a crime, then you should be fine.
Hmm.
But yeah, of course, like the nice thing is you can go to the local office and they can help you out too. So, or you can just do it online.
How
Yeah.
is online's like? Because I went through a company this whole time, and you've been doing on for Twitch. Is is online more trouble than physical?
Honestly, yeah, their website is so old. Their online is so old. It was so much easier to go to the office, write it down, and then send it in. Or like just physically give it to them. Cause yeah, their website's a little old. So, but yeah, as long as you do it before deadline, you're fine. Like if you go a little bit ahead of deadline, there's like no one at the office, so you can just go in and fill out taxes a lot easier. It's just people usually wait until like the very last minute. So if you're going like the week it's due, then it's like, oh my god, you're gonna be there for a really long time. But yeah, so you file it as a freelance worker. Sorry, I went into a full thing there, but yeah.
There you go. So thanks for the question, man. Torres asked, interesting that Japan literally discouraged. So I don't really know about that. I've never tried to make a company here, or
Yeah, I don't know.
we only have that freelance stuff, so we don't have too much. There's people, and of course, I know people that have their own companies, over here, but
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know anything about discouraging
yeah.
entrepreneurship or anything like that. But if you have a specific example that you're
You
talking
should go
about,
ask
but
someone that actually made a company.
yeah,
Casey asks, "What is this thing called life?" It's
I don't know.
it's unreal. That's what it is. It's a series of weird people, meeting weird things,
I don't like thinking about it.
and
It's a dark hole that I get stuck in.
life tries to make it. It's about overcomplication. I'm gonna. That's my answer. It's about overcomplicating things. Is life and how we can get out of that. That's the real escape room of life, I think. So thanks for that question. Vaughn asks, "How is streaming on YouTube compared to Twitch?" So we kind of talked about
Yeah,
that
we
before.
kind of talked about it, but
Nothing too different except the lag was a
the
little
lag is
bonky.
weird and the emotes were a
Yeah,
little lacking. But that's pretty much it.
not too much different. Besides that, have you guys ever thought about streaming on two platforms? The other day, I saw someone streaming on Twitch and TikTok at the same time. So, also, any plans for the Golden Week? Two platforms. I've seen streams on TikTok and Twitter, and they are unwatchable. I don't know how. I don't understand how anybody would watch a TikTok stream in the sense that TikTok and Twitter are probably the shortest form of content. You read, go, read, go, read, go. I can't imagine sitting there on a. This just might be me being a boomer, but I can't sit there watching a stream of it's in the format of a TikTok, right? So it's like just like a face cam up here and this screen. I can't imagine just watching like this for like a 5 hour stream like that. That seems unreal to me.
I don't think TikTok is made for streaming
No.
content.
You can stream
So
on Twitter
if
too.
it
It's the
was,
same thing.
yeah, Twitter too, or even Instagram. Like I mean, Twitch and YouTube at the same time works, but that's not possible. But streaming on like Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or whatever, I don't think it's yeah.
For our
Unless you're
content.
doing like a Q&A or something,
For our
maybe.
content.
But
Yeah, Q&A
yeah,
for maybe like an hour at
yeah,
tops.
that would work.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone would go to Twitter and watch a stream. But I don't know. I don't really know social media very
Maybe
well.
times
So.
will be changing.
Yeah. No plans for Golden Week.
Nah.
My mom's here, so I'll probably go see her.
Just
A few of
chilling.
her friends want to see us, but kind of depends on time. But
Mm-hmm. John asks, thoughts on going to a smithy and learning to forge a kitchen knife?
that would actually be really cool.
I
I'd
would
be
be
totally
down.
down.
I'm down.
I'm down. Yeah.
I want to stream that. That'll be fun. And then I'll
Do
hopefully
you
I
know
don't
a
get
place?
and then hopefully I don't get hurt.
Yeah.
That's my only problem. So thanks for that question, John. Uh, Crazy Toast asks, this question's for Gray. When will you take blue? Okay, skip. All right, next one.
What? That's a legit question. That is a legitimate question. When will you take Blue on a date, and what have you planned for that date? That is a legitimate question.
I'll take you on a. How about sometime during Golden Week? Let's go somewhere. Anywhere you want to go. Let's go for you know forge a knife. Casey asks, when does life end and begin? When does life end and begin? These are deep life questions. Um,
When
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 does
does
life
life
end?
end and begin? I think it's when you are aware of yourself is when it begins. Like you're aware of your surroundings is when it begins.
And it
I
ends
think.
before you know it.
And then it ends the same thing. Same thing where when you lose awareness of your surroundings, I think is when it ends.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
Because I don't like, even if you want to get even deeper, like I think like my grandfather had Alzheimer's, and at the very end he couldn't remember anyone. Like he couldn't remember anyone, he couldn't remember where he was, he couldn't remember who he was. Like at that end, are you really living? So once you lose awareness of who you are and your surroundings, then I think that's when it's, yeah.
In a social being sense, I feel like that is a really good answer. Where it's like you stop being a social being when because you're still alive, you're breathing. Like
Yeah, but is
technically
it
you're
really, are
alive,
you really
but
living?
yeah, without your
Just like when
experiences.
you're a kid, like sure, yes, you are technically alive when you're in your mom's tummy, but at the same time, like if you don't remember any of it, you can't hear anything, you have no senses, then are you really living? No, you're not experiencing anything. So it's when you can experience things,
Boom.
I think.
And that is a very deep note to end this podcast on. Thank you guys so
So yeah.
much for checking it out. For the people that are watching it on video on YouTube, sup? And people that are listening to it on Spotify or other audio forms,
What's up?
sup? Thank you so much for checking it out. We'll be back next month, so please ask questions again for next month. And you know what they always say: live your life, baby. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.